Namaste. Hamesha khush raho betiya. My name is JVN Manisha Singh. Today I am teaching you concept of heat stability and its control, defects in condensed and evaporated milk. Now let's start the topic heat stability. Heat stability of milk, concentrated and dried milk is of commercial importance. The term heat stability of evaporated milk refers to the relative resistance of the milk to coagulation in the sterilizer, and Webb, Bell and Dazer defined heat stability as the time necessary to initiate coagulation at 115 degrees Celsius. Then what is the importance of heat stability? Heat stability is important in the processing operation of concentrated product manufacture. In the manufacture of recombined evaporated milk from anhydrous milk, fat and skim milk powder, heat stability adjustment is important before sterilization. This is because of the convenience with which milk may now be stored and transported in the form of anhydrous milk fat and skim milk powder. In the manufacture of recombined UHT milks, in the manufacture of beverages, for example, coffee whiteners, and must not coagulate or cause featherings when added to coffee, usually under adverse condition of temperatures and pH. In the manufacture of low heat or high heat milk powders and used in admixture with fresh fluid milks. In the manufacture of skim milk powders, stability of instant dried milk, skim milk, when added to hot coffee showed that the formation of insoluble material was inversely related to the maximum coagulation time of the reconstituted powder measured at 140 degrees Celsius and directly related to the casein number of milk protein, that is percentage of milk protein precipitated at pH 4.6. The application of heat to milk is necessary for destruction for microorganisms and the preservation process. However, milk should not coagulate during heating, which is mainly caused by destabilization of milk protein, that is casein. Heat stability is defined as the relative resistance of milk to coagulation, or in the other word, it is the time required to induce coagulation at a time at the given temperature. Next topic is defects in condensed milk. The major defects that are characteristics of unmarketable sweetened condensed milk are discussed here. That is, first one is sandiness. The relative smoothness of texture of sweetened condensed milk is determined mainly by the size of the lactose crystals it contains. Sandiness is due to the presence of relative large coarse crystals for a product of the desired smoothness. The crystals should average less than 10 micron in length, and sandiness is due to the sucrose. When the sucrose ratio of finished product exceeds 64.5%, it is approaches the status of saturated solution of sucrose. And when such condensed milk is subjected to low temperature, such as in cold storage or otherwise on its journey from factory to consumer, some of the sucrose that is present in excess of saturation will crystallize, and they will give the condensed milk a coarse and sandy texture. Incomplete solution in the pan has also been found to be contributing factor of sandiness. Next is sugar sediment or sugar down. That is the deposits of sugar sediment on the bottom of the can or barrel of sweetened condensed milk are not an uncommon occurrence. The microscopic examination as well as chemical analysis shows such sediments to consist predominantly of lactose crystals. The main cause is due to the difference in specific gravity between the crystallized lactose and the remainder of the condensed milk. The specific gravity of lactose hydrate at 68 degrees Celsius is 1.5453, and the average specific gravity of sweetened condensed milk is 1.3085. It is reported that sugar sediment is sweetened condensed milk of a given viscosity increases or decreases respectively with an increase or decrease of the crystal size. Condensed milk of normal viscosity in which the lactose crystals do not exceed 10 microns in length generally remains free from objectionable sugar sediments. Then effect of viscosity on sugar sediment. The greater the viscosity, greater is the resistance to the form of force of gravity. Hence, lesser will be the ability of the lactose crystals to drop to the bottom. In many cases, sediment trouble the finished product indefinitely, too thin to hold the crystals in permanent suspension. In such cases, reasonable increase in concentration may avoid sediment, provided that crystal size is dependably controlled. Next is effect of homogenization. Homogenization increases the viscosity of milk. This in turn decreases the tendency for the finished product to drop the lactose crystal. This effect increases with increasing pressure. Then another defect is age thickening. It is a common defect of sweetened condensed milk. It may be due to the bacterial activity, physicochemical reactions. Bacterial thickening is caused by extremely heavy bacterial contamination with the causative species of microorganisms, which results from lack of efficient sanitary supervision in manufacture. It can be prevented by proper sanitation and efficiently controlled forewarming temperature in the presence of causative organism. It can be controlled by increasing the sucrose in water ratio to nearly 64.5%. The exact reaction involved in sweetened condensed milk age thickening due to the physico-chemical causes have not been yet been fully explained, but it may be due to the hydration of proteins, mainly the casein, which absorbs water and thickening is increased. The influence of season on age thickening is very marked, and proper adjustment of forewarming temperature prevents the defect age thickening. Okay. Next defect is the flavor defect. It is one is rancid flavor. It is not frequently occurring defect of sweetened condensed milk. It can be controlled by the following precautions. Forewarming the fresh milk at temperature above 7 degrees Celsius, 76 degrees Celsius. Avoid leaks of raw milk into the batch during forewarming and between the forewarmer and vacuum pan. Do not add sugar during forewarming process and use unpolluted water and keep all equipments in sanitary conditions. Then we have metallic flavor. It may be caused due to the use of copper equipment, and it may give free coppery taste of copper salts. Use stainless steel equipments to prevent this flavor. Then tallowy flavor. It is due to the auto oxidation of milk fat. Nowadays it does not occur, but it may occur if the finished product is exposed for a considerable period of time to the air and light, and in plants that are still using copper vacuum pans and copper forewarmers. Another is fat separation. It is the result of abnormally low viscosity and thin body. In such milk at rest, there is a definite tendency of some of the fat to rise to the surface, forming a layer that has deeper yellow color than fresh milk. This defect can be controlled by proper processing and proper concentration of total solids. Then we have dark color or brown discoloration. The immediate causes of the discoloration are the intense heat treatment during forewarming and high storage temperature. At low temperature, the color is not noticeable affected by aging. Then defects seen in the evaporated milks. First is non-bacterial defects in evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is, in order to be marketable, must be free from symptoms of biological fermentation. It must be sterile. In addition, it must have certain physically important properties such as full of body that symbolizes richness and prevents objectionable fat separation, smooth and homogeneous texture, a pleasing natural milk flavor, and light creamy color. Much attention is to be paid to this group for non-bacterial defects such as curdiness due to the heat coagulation, fat separation, mineral deposits, browning, bloats due to freezing, then change in altitude and chemical action by milk acids upon base metal of container because it involves defective process itself. Next defect is curdiness due to heat coagulation. For dependable prevention of curdiness and other physical defects that dissipate the marketable properties of the finished product, it is necessary to efficiently control the viscosity of the evaporated milk. The cause and prevention of curdiness due to heat coagulation are as follows. Curdy evaporated milk is due to too low heat stability in the presence of heat treatment used for sterilization. The standard commercial sterilizing process of holding at 115.6 degrees Celsius and 20 minutes for other temperature time ratios will equal lethal effect represents the minimum temperature time ratio that will ensure a sterile finished product. When the cooking time approaches the heat stability time, there is a danger of permanent curdiness in the finished product. If the heat stability of the evaporated milk is too low to ensure freedom from curdiness, it may be increased and curdiness prevented by the use of higher forwarming temperature or by the proper use of casein stabilizer. Another type of defect is fat separation during storage. Adoption of homogenization as an integral function of manufacturing of evaporated milk eliminates the defect of fat separation as a serious problem. Yet, even in the homogenized product, the distribution of fat globules is not permanently uniform. On progressive storage of homogenized product, it becomes higher and richer on top layer. If objectionable intensity of fat separation is to be avoided, it is necessary to addition to effect efficient homogenization to aim not for maximum heat stability but for heat stability sufficiently moderate to give evaporated milk a full body and a viscosity adequate to definitely retard fat separation in storage. And to accomplish this precursor aims at a concentrate that possesses heat stability a few minutes later than about twice that of the sterilizing period. Varying the sterilizing process yields the optimum viscosity for maximum fat emulsion stability. Another defect is mineral deposit. Under certain conditions, there is a tendency for a whitish gritty deposit to form near the bottom of the container. This deposit consists chiefly of tricalcium citrate and it causes and prevention are as follows. Citric acid is believed to be present in the milk, okay, combined with calcium and magnesium. The citric acid content of milk has been found to be greatest when the cows are on green pasture. Higher the concentration of evaporated milk, the greater the tendency for appearance of mineral deposit during storage. The temperature of storage is a controlling factor. The higher the temperature, the larger amount of deposit. At 7.2 degrees Celsius, there is no mineral deposition. Then browning of evaporated milk. The reason for browning, however, the causes and prevention are summarized. The darkening of color is due to the reaction in the presence of sterilizing heat between the sugar of milk and certain amino acid, and this reaction causes discoloration of proteins, Maillard reaction basically. The browning effect is less intense in the case of high temperature, short time, heat treatment, then LTLT. The color of evaporated milk darkens with age. The rate of darkening increases with storage temperature. At 5 degrees Celsius or below, there is no change of color during storage. Another defect is bloats of evaporated milk. The bloats are caused due to the freezing, change in altitude, and chemical action. Bloat resulting from these causes are frequently occurring. When freezing, the content expands sufficiently to cause the cans to bulge at their ends, giving the impression of bloats. When subsequently transferred to the temperatures at which the milk melts and the bulging ends almost invariably flip back to the normal. Change to high altitude may cause tins to bulge, and this will result especially when cans are sealed at low altitude and are then transferred to high altitude regions. The danger in such cases is intensified if the evaporated milk happens to be cold at times of filling and atmosphere at high altitudes is warmer, causing the air and milk is in can to expand. The pressure difference between inside and outside of tins thus causes the can ends to bulge out. Chemical action of milk acid upon the base metal of the container affects the appearance of the bloats. Hope you all are satisfied with this session. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University, Jaipur. If you have any query, please mention it in a comment box. I will resolve them whenever we have a live session. Thank you so much for watching.